Good afternoon, everybody. It's Dawn at Glory Grace Farm. I have been trying to film this video today and traffic has been terrible. So I'm just going to go ahead and do it and hope that me remembering to get my mic will help hear me even though the cars are going by. Here comes another one. I don't know what the deal is with traffic today. Anyways, this is the first garden that we've got planted so far. It is broken off from the main garden because, for one, I wanted to get it in the ground, and it was going to be an experiment of an untilled area and simply digging out the holes by hand with my hori-hori, which I absolutely love the hori-hori. It's amazing. My son cracks up at the name every time. He's like, that is the weirdest name. I said, I don't know. It's just his name. But I love the tool. It's one of the best gardening tools I think I've ever had. But as you can see how big my squash are, they needed to be in the ground in a bad, bad way. Their blossoms started opening the very next day. So I'm excited about what's going to happen there and the production, because there's a lot of them putting on a lot of blossoms, and I hope they're a lot of female and not just a lot of male blossoms. But this first set is different yellow squashes. Some are supposed to be a new variety that Burpee put out this year. Oh my goodness. Sorry, y'all. They're called Rise and Shine, and it was supposed to be like a stalk type squash. But so far, I'm not seeing really stalks develop, so we'll see how time passes if they turn into more of a stalk. Oh my! Y'all, I don't know what's going on with all the cars. I waited till the nuclear plant should be done. I don't know if they're in an outage of some sort for some reason, and so it's running later, people going back and forth, or if it's just there's a whole lot more people living down at the end of my road now than I realized. But this has been constant. So, anyway, and then there's some regular early summer squash and some cricket neck squash. And then in the middles, you'll see the tall sunflowers. They really needed to get in the ground because that's pretty much how tall they were, sitting in my greenhouse, waiting to be planted. I've got some yellowing. We had a really super heavy rain, and I'm thinking I need my fertilizer, which is supposed to be here today. I'm waiting. I was really hoping my delivery was going to come early because I'm waiting on my fabric staples and my fertilizer. And oh my goodness, at the traffic. I will not miss that one day. But behind here is the cucumber row. I have Market More 76s, several of those, and then it switches to a muncher cucumber. They're the little, much littler, shorter. They've not gotten tall yet. And then I have a few plants of a pickling cucumber down on the end, just to try and see if we want to do some either refrigerator pickles or some canned pickles. Down here there's still squashes, and then honestly have no idea what that little one is right there. And this one is my pie pumpkin, I believe. Yes, my early sugar pie pumpkin. I went ahead and put it there. I'm gonna extend out the fabric as it grows and needs more fabric. I'll piece out some and to try to keep the weeds out of the vining. I'm hoping all of the rest of these are squashes and not some kind of pumpkins and things. They're supposed to just be squash plants. Okay, let's see here. So we've got the pickling cucumbers. Oh, back to the trellis. This is the same fabric that netting that I bought for going around, and I decided to use to go around the chicken coop around the top to help keep the chickens in. it is working so far. I've had a couple of escapees this last couple of days, and I think they're getting under because it's also a duck that has gotten out a couple of times, and so they like to scoot their noses around and root around like a pig, kind of, with their noses, with their beaks. And I think once they figure out they can lift that net enough, they can get under. So I think there's a spot that they're getting under, and I've got to get that fixed. I'm going to get, like I said, my staples are supposed to come today, and I'll go around the bottom of the netting and fasten that down more. And if they're still getting out, I'm going to take some of my green plastic gardening fence that I bought to go around the garden originally, and I'm gonna like secure those areas up that it looks like they're either fitting through holes or something, and they won't be able to fit through it because it's just those little tiny squares. This row is my pretty Dollar Tree Stars and Stripes and Summer Nights. I thought that was so cute at the Dollar Tree, and that it might help with it blowing in the wind, might help keep birds away. But these poles, back to the netting and the poles for a minute, are the original ones we ordered. I'm not sure which ones I like better yet. I think it's gonna be these because they have these little bumps on them. They're not very big, but they do work with the zip tie. And I don't know if you can see that, my nail polish is popping off, but it's got little knots, little, just barely little bumps, but the zip tie can fit under it, and then those little bumps will help hold the zip tie in place. So I'm hoping that works, but it pulls it tight pretty good. But I'm sure once the weight of the things, see how it just, because this row is cantaloupes. I'm just trying it. I know it might be a totally epic fail, but I'm going to try vertical gardening with my cantaloupes because they are most of them are a small variety that I saved seed from the grocery store cantaloupe that we found. I believe it was at Publix. I'm not sure. Being Publix, I don't even go there that often. But this was a delicious, sweet cantaloupe, and it was called a Tuscan style or something like that. So I wrote on the bag, I saved the seed, and I've got seed for years out of the one cantaloupe. That's what's amazing. If you'll save your seed, you'll never be without seed. So most of these are that Tuscan style. Then there's a last 4 or 5, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, 5. These are Edisto cantaloupe. And I bought these because all of my markers that I was buying, the little stake markers, they were bending from the heat in the greenhouse and just warping over and being a real pain to keep up with. So I thought, well, for the amount of money, I can get these, and I can do like I did here, wrap it around the netting, or as the plant grows, if it's more of a stalk type, I can put the tag up higher and be able to know what that is, especially once my tomato varieties start coming out and I know what's what. Then I can mark those with their name. Hopefully I'll get it right, and I'll know which ones we like and which ones we don't like and which ones we want to save seed from. You'll see I have a bigger gap here because this is the only yellow-skinned honeydew, as far as I know, that I had come up successfully. Now that I'm looking at that honeydew, I'm thinking that little tiny one right there, oh, now it's gonna, that has a question mark on it, that might be a honeydew or a cantaloupe. I'm looking at the leaves and it's like, yep, that kind of looks the same. So we'll see what happens with that one. But I've also got a regular honeydew, green flesh honeydew that I'm trying to reseed some of those because they didn't come up at all as far as I can tell. This side, Miss Becky at Acre Homestead. I love watching her channel. She's great, y'all. If you've not heard about her, not seen her stuff, she gardens and she cooks these amazing meals and freezer meals, and she's just awesome. And she's probably one of my favorite channels currently for just getting cooking ideas and seeing what she's doing in the garden with her new homestead that they've recently purchased and are building. Anyway, she grew these sweet meat squash. They're like a big gray pumpkin. But she said they were her favorite one that she grew because they were not very wet whenever she was processing them. When they cooked down, they were more flesh. Oh my goodness. People and their loud cars. But, excuse that person. Back to my train of thought. She really liked them because they were very, had a lot more firm flesh and less water that released when she processed them. So I thought, well, if they taste good and they are a very meaty one, then that's what we're going to try, because my youngest son has decided that he now really likes pumpkin and just about everything. And I'm figuring pumpkin and squash and all these are going to be very similar in flavor, so we can grow these out, see how well they do, can them up with our new pressure canner that we've never used. It's christening year this year. Maybe I'll decide to do some videos since we're new to it. Maybe I won't. It just depends on how things are going. We don't have a lot of space in our house. The living room and kitchen are open to each other. The walls are paper thin. And the cars just keep coming. You can see all my sunflowers that I still need to get in the ground. I've got lots of sunflowers started. This is my first year growing flowers. I've had some success and some failures. Some things that just totally didn't come up at all. Other things that have done great. The sunflowers are like exceptional. I've got different stages of them. I've got the tall ones, which I've been setting out, and then you'll see in between these are some little short ones, and they're in just this little tray down here. And so I've been trying to set them out because they're getting a little root bound, and I'm hoping they won't be stunted and will do okay and catch up and take off. And then if you see this is privet growing all along my property road frontage. And my dad offered to come and cut it down one day. And I said, no, please don't. It is becoming my privacy fence. For one, traffic is getting heavier for whatever reason now. But we have, and here comes another car. We have had problems for years, and I've spoken about this in other videos, and one reason that I can't wait till God moves us from here. But I have spoken about this in other videos, like I said, about people driving by extremely slow all times of the year. They're not looking for deer. This is not a big barren field for people to slow down in front of my yard and purposely drive about 5 miles an hour when there's not traffic. They do it every evening at the same time. I've considered trying to catch them on video. Oh, there's my delivery from my mailman. That's my staples. I'm going to catch y'all later. Well, he might just going to be put them in the mailbox. Yay! I've been waiting on those, y'all. So I can go over here and lay all that fabric down right here on this area and get my main garden planted. So I'm going to go get those out of the mailbox, y'all. And I'll catch you up next time with everything going on. God bless and have a great day. This is Dawn from Glory Grace Farm. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share. God bless.